Hello everyone and welcome to ITLS Academy Empower the Youth. So today in this lecture we will going to understand what is the role of food safety internal auditor and the planning of internal audit. So in this particular lecture we will going to understand what is actually audit is and why is auditing is used in any food industries or in any pharmaceutical industries, or why auditing is done in any industries which is related to the health, right? If we talk about the cosmetic industries, if we talk about the beverage industries, if we talk about the different types of pharmaceutical product industries, so in every industry there is an audit that is conducted for the safety of the people. Okay, so in this lecture we will going to understand what is actually an audit is, and in the previous lecture we have already discussed about the types of auditing and what is the purpose of doing the auditing in the industries. So we will going to have a quick revision of that, and then we will going to understand what is an internal audit. So if we talk about what is an audit, so audit, it is a systematic, independent and documented examination to determine whether the activities and related result comply with planning arrangement and whether these arrangements are implemented of effectively and are suitable to achieve objectives. So in simple terms, if we talk about what is a audit, so in simple language, audit is the thing that is used in any of the food industry, and it is a very highly structured activity, and the basic aim behind the this food safety audit is to document the evaluation of food businesses food safety system. So in fact it helps to determine if all the practices are according to the appropriate food laws and regulation or not. So if we this food audit, you can also say that it creates a transparent report about the situation and the level of food safety system in food businesses, and it basically highlights its strength and weakness. Okay, so in any industries, if I talking about any food industry, let's say let's take an example of any beverage industry. Okay, so in a beverage industries the auditing is done just to know what are the strength of the industries and what are the weakness of the industries, because the basic aim is just to provide a customer a good product. And this internal audit, it check the basic, you can say the aim or basic the principle behind the audit is to have an appropriate knowledge, or it determines all the appropriate practices that are means what are the practices that are involved in the different types of food industries, whether these practices are appropriate or not, whether the food industry is abiding the laws of laws, that is a food laws, and whether they are abiding by the regulation or not. So it is a very transparent report, and it is actually for the betterment of the customer, because a student as a customers we are becoming very aware, and just post to covid also we are becoming very aware of what we are using, what we are having. Okay, so as a customer that is becoming you can become very aware of food safeties and law and regulation, and they are also aware of the risk of food contamination. So these food safety audits are becoming more essential as you compare in any other the past scenario. So these food safety agencies have they have very heavily emphasized hazard analysis, and and the prevention to protect the public health. So all of the reason Okay, means about the protection of public health, about the highlights of strength and weakness in the food businesses. Okay, so this food safety audit is conducted. So this is all about the overview. And of course, what are the objectives? So objectives are very simple, that audits are basic requirement of the CGMP. So here, what do you understand by CGMP? So the student, CGMP is nothing but it is actually the current good manufacturing practices. Okay, so what is GMP if anybody asks you, because there is a difference between CGMPs and GMPs. So if we talk about the GMPs, so sorry, if we talk about the CGMP, so CGMP is nothing but it talks about the current scenario. Okay, now comes what is QMS. So QMS is simply, I'm just writing the full form, you can note it down. This QMS, so this QMS is the quality M for management, quality management, and S for system. Okay, so this QMS, it is a quality management system, and it is an extensive framework of control and assured processes that designed to safeguard the food safety, quality, and authenticity of any of the product. Okay, so if anybody asks you what do you understand by CGMP, so C stands for current and QMS stands for the quality management system. So pharmaceutical manufacturer commonly use the audit as an effective mechanism to verify the compliance with the GMP regulations. So it is started with the pharmaceutical industries, and it has been taken over by the different industries. Okay, now coming to the benefits. So already told you about the benefits of the auditing. So the first benefit is it assures the CGMP compliances, it detects the potential problems, it increases the management awareness, it reduces the risk of failure, it identifies the improvement opportunity. So these are the benefits of auditing. What are the benefits? The first one is it assure the CGMP appliances, and in fact, if we talk about all the points in one line, so it is only for the safety of human. It only talks, or it mainly emphasis on the safety of the consumers. Okay, now moving to the types of audit. So as already told you, there are three types of audit. The important one is the internal audit and the external audit, and the third one is the regulatory, or you can say the certification body audit. Okay, that is called the third party. So if you talk about the internal audit, so the internal audit is the first party. If we talk about the external audit, then external audit is the second party. And if you talk about the regulatory certification body audit, it is a third party. Okay, now internal audit means the first party, it is an organization auditing its own system, whereas in external auditing, organization auditing its suppliers. And third one is organization audited by regulatory body or any certification body. So as the name suggests, internal, so in this the auditing is done within a same company, means you don't have to hire anybody from the outside. If we talk about the external auditing, means the second party, as the name suggests, that is the external. So here the organization auditing is done by the different people. And if we talk about the last one, that is the regulatory. So regulatory, it is done by the any regulatory bodies or any certified body. So in simple words, if we talk about the internal audit, so internal audit evaluates the company's internal control. Okay, means what is their company's internal you can say control. So it is based on that. Now coming back to the next slide, that is audit, items of audit. This is again very important, and sometimes in interviews, sometimes in your examination, this question is must. Means the first question they can ask you, what do you understand by audit? Explain any explain the types of audit, and what are the items of audit, means what all things are checked or audited in the audit process. The first one is personal. Okay, so in the personal, the audit team check the personal means the employers. Okay, whether they are wearing a proper dresses or not. Dresses in the sense means whether they are wearing a proper headscarf, whether they are wearing gloves, whether they are wearing the shoe cover, whether they are wearing the lab coats, or whether they are wearing the nose mask. Okay, so everything is audited, and this comes under the personal, means in this personal hygiene of the employers are being checked or audited. Now come to the second one, that is the premises. Premises is the environment. Okay, so firstly this thing you should always keep in mind. Audit, जैसे ही ऑडिटिंग टीम ने जो आपकी इंडस्ट्री उस पे अपना फर्स्ट स्टेप रखा, ओके, फ्रॉम देयर ओनली द ऑडिटिंग स्टार्ट्स, बिकॉज दे चेक द प्रेमाइसेस at the entry, whether they are the industry is fully sanitized or not, whether there is a sanitization or not, means what is the condition of the premises, whether the premises have a proper section of every department. Okay, and the premises should be clean. Okay, the basic is to check the hygiene condition of the premises. Then maintenance of the building and equipments, means what is the maintenance of the building, whether the building is properly maintained or not. Okay, is there any waterlogging problem or not, means if there is a waterlogging of so it will lead to the infection, so the proper water drainage system should be there. The equipments, basically the equipment in which the manufacturing of any product is done, whether the equipment are of the latest technologies or not, whether the equipments are cleaned properly or not. So these comes under the items of audit. Then comes the storage of starting material and finished product, means where you place your the raw materials. Okay, even raw material, the storage shelf, or you can say where the storage of raw material is placed, that area should be properly clean. Means where to store the finished product, that area should be properly clean. There should be a separate, you can say separate space should be there to kept the raw material and to kept the finished product. Okay, again we have already covered the equipment parts. Then comes the production and in process control, means the production areas where actually the production is taking place, that area should be neatly clean. That area should be free from any source of microbial contaminant. Okay, so this is what the internal auditing team checks whenever the internal audit team comes in any of the industries. Okay, so this is what the internal audit checks in any of the industries. Okay, it is not always in the case that yes, it is sure the auditing is done only in the food industries. No, auditing can be done in any of the industries depending upon the place. So if the auditing is done in the food industries, then of course it will check every bit of the thing, whether the premises are clean, whether the production area is clean or not. So this is done in the auditing. Okay, now coming to the next, that is Audit planning means how the audit plannings take place, means what are the plannings that is required whenever the auditing of the auditing is done. So if we talk about who is the internal auditor, so firstly the person who did or who does the auditing is known as the internal auditor. Okay, if a person is doing the external auditing, then he is known as a external auditor, and if a person is doing the internal auditing, then a person is known as a internal auditor. Okay, now who is an internal auditor or who is the external auditor? So in case internal auditor is a person who has a qualification to perform the internal audit, means it is not the case that every person can check the auditing or can do the auditing. No, a person who has a good knowledge, who has every bit knowledge of auditing, that person is known as a auditor. Okay, so the definition say a person who has a qualification to perform internal audit is known as the internal auditor. Person selected as internal auditor should be free from biasness, independent of activity being audited, and the last one is free from influence. Okay, so the first is internal auditor. So whenever there is a auditing being done in the industries, the internal auditor, a person who is assigned to do the auditing, he should have a good knowledge, the first point, and he should have certain types of quality in himself, that he should be free from any biasness, means there should be no partiality. Okay, he should be free from any sort of activities that could harm the auditing team, means in this case he should not be influenced from the others. Okay, he should do his job in a very or in a very honest way, means honesty in auditing, the only thing is checked is the honesty, because you have to think, you are testing a food item that is being used by different, or you can say there are thousands and millions of people. So your you can say your auditing should be that much good, because you are, because see, if we as a person or if we as a consumer is consuming any food item, so we have so much faith, yes, this industries or this product will not harm our health. Okay, why we have so much of relaxation and why we have so much of trust, because we know that there is a team who is working for the betterment of the consumer. So it is the duty of the auditor to to make an audit free from any source of biasness, free from any source of partiality, and he should always think before auditing, let's not be partial, let's think about thousands and lakhs and crores and millions of people who would likely to use these product in the near future. Okay, now internal audit team. So the cross-functional team is selected to conduct an audit. Individuals in the teams are selected on the basis of experience and knowledge, familiarization with current guidance and company's procedure. Size of audit team depends upon complexity of area to be audited. So these are the qualities that should be possessed by an internal audit team, and he must have an experience, because experience says things a little louder. Okay, so experience and knowledge should be there. Now how to conduct the audit, means now it's time for to understand the conducting of audit. Okay, so this is the cycle of audit, or you can say this is the audit cycle. The first one, you have to do the planning. Then after doing the planning, you have to prepare yourself. You have to prepare then and do the preparation. Then after doing the preparation, you have to conduct that audit. Okay, compile audit report. You have to share that audit report. Then if you found any weakness or any area that is not up to the mark, you have to do the follow up, and after that you have to close out. Okay, so if you talk about the first step, that is a planning, then let's say if a group of people is going to audit any beverage industries, let's say an audit team is going to any coca-cola industries, we will understand this with the help of an example. Okay, if you as a person, okay, if sorry, okay, if you as a person is going to conduct an audit in a coca-cola industries, the first is to make a plan. The planning, how you will do the auditing, planning is the first step. After planning, you have made the preparation. Okay, you have to make a proper checklist. In each checklist, everything should be marked, starting from the checking of the personnel till in the end checking of the product that is being prepared in that particular industries. So as you enter the coca-cola industries, okay, the first thing you saw about the premises means what is the environment and how's the premises, whether the premises is clean or not, whether the premises is sanitized or not. Okay, so the first thing you look on this, then you watch or examine the workers or the people that are working in that particular industries. So you check whether the people are means all the workers are wearing the headscarves or not, whether they are wearing a proper shoe cover or not, whether they are disposing the gloves after a single use or not. Okay, then you check the proper hygiene condition of the premises as well as the personal. Okay, then you start doing the auditing. So in this when you are checking the uh, you know uh, the premises and the hygienic of the hygiene of the people, so this comes under the conduction. Then you go and see where is the storage room, is where the raw material is being kept up, what are the expiry date of the products. Okay, and after checking the storage room, you came across to different thing, what kind of detergent they are using, what types of raw equipments they are using. Okay, and after checking the equipment, after checking the storage room, you see where the production is actually being carried out. This is again very important, that where actually the production is being carried out. Okay, so in your checklist you mark everything. If you see yes, they are using a proper cleaning of the utensils, so you mark yes, they are using. If they are not using, you have to mark no, they are not using. Okay, the proper cleaning system. Okay, and after that, if you see is there, if there is anything that is missing, and if there is anything that is not up to the mark, and it is not following the proper GMP's guidelines or any other regulatory body's guideline, so you definitely follow them, and in this way you conduct an audit. Okay, now coming to the next, that is audit report, means how an audit report is built and what should be there in the audit report. Because in interviews this question comes mainly a interviewer will ask you, how, what do you understand by audit report, and what are the things that is included in audit report. This is the question. So the first is agreed audit agenda, audit criteria, date and location of audit, The duration, yes, so duration is very important, whether the audit is for about 45 minutes or whether the audit is for the whole day or whether means it, the duration of audit should be mentioned in a very proper way. Okay, even the summary of our audit findings should be there. So the audit report includes the five things. The first is the agreed audit agenda, second is the audit criteria, third is the date and location of audit, and your fourth is the duration, means so what is the duration of the audit, and at last the summary of audit finding. Okay, so that's all about the lecture. Let's quickly understand what all the questions that can be asked in the interview or in the examination. The first question is, what do you understand by an audit? And in the second part of the same question, they can ask you, what are the objectives in audit or what are the objectives of audit? Okay, even sometimes they can ask you explain or mention any two or three importance of auditing, or they can ask you mention any two or three benefits of auditing. Then you have to explain this slide. This question is very common, and in every examination or in an interview, this question is always there for you, means the types of audit. This is very very important. You should always have the knowledge of the types of audit. You should always know the difference between the internal audit and the external audit. You should always understand what are the items that are included in auditing. Okay, now moving to the auditing planning. So how auditing planning is done, this is very important. Who is the internal auditor, internal auditor team, who is the team, and how you conduct the audit. This slide, that is audit cycle, is very 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 important, very important. So you have to know about the audit cycle. So that's all about the today's lecture. I hope you have understood the lecture. If you have any doubt, any query related to any of the lecture, you can simply call on this number, that is 7080833450, and the last one is the our website, that is www.itlsacademy.com. This is our helpline number, that is 7080833450. You can simply call on this number. You can follow ITLS Academy on different portal. So thank you for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.